Hey, Nathan, is it fair to say that that's your favorite ZR2 and this is my favorite ZR2?
That's exactly right. This is actually superior to that ZR2.
No, this one's much superior.
Not at all. Not at all. This is the best ZR2. Not only that, but one of the best off-road vehicles you can purchase within reason. And even though it's old, it's still fantastic.
Dare I say they should have called this the ZR3 and just left the old ZR2 name in the dustpan of history?
That's just a bigger version of this with a heavy engine and heavy this and heavy that and expensive this and expensive that.
2 more cylinders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This can have a diesel if you want, which has really good torque and very good economy.
This will have a diesel eventually. You know it's coming.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure it's coming. But then again, there's going to be an all-new version of this coming out very soon.
Yeah, where's this, like, the new design language? How come you got the old design language?
No, I'll tell you that this actually rips this off because you have this cutout bumper, which, by the way, is really good for off-roading. And I do, too. Although, notice which one's better. That'd be mine. Look how much more tire is exposed for the obstacles. My short front overhangs, my short breakover angle, all in all, superior off-road truck.
Your delicate towing range, your delicate towing ability, your delicate...
it tows 5,000 pounds.
Back seat.
Okay, I'll admit the back seat is pretty tight in this. It's not as...
Hey guys, as you can tell, me and Nathan are having a little bit of an argument about what's the best ZR2, and we've got, of course, the two trucks together. And it's actually an interesting old versus new, because we know that this one is going away. So this is the swan song for the Colorado ZR2, and this is brand new. This just came out, so this is the new top dog off-road Chevy. Not top dog off-road GM, though. The Hummer EV is probably a little bit better off-road, but as a Chevy, this is the one that would compete with, dare I say, a Tremor if it were a Ford, or maybe a TRD Pro if it were a Toyota.
Yeah, I think it's a step above because you can lock the front axle on this, and that's something that you can't do on the
Both
Toyota.
Have diff locks on the front.
Yeah,
front and back. Yeah,
they are very similar in that respect, except for this just has everything that's just beefier, one step up because it's huge.
So in this live show, we're going to be chatting about the two trucks. We're going to be talking about kind of where we're heading with our new electric Lightning. Before we do that, did you know that your old truck, the Ford Excursion, is on TFL bids right now? So
that is one classy truck, by the way. If you want the classiest of large SUVs, you buy the Excursion.
It's selling at no reserve over at TFLbids.com. It's up to $6,100, which is a bargain because we paid $8 for it.
Yeah. Well, and also it has brand new BFGs on there. There's KO2s, right?
Right, yeah. And
it's had a lot of work done leading up to where it is right now. It's a good truck, solid, big.
Yeah, and of course, when we bought it, gas wasn't $6 a gallon.
No, seriously. But you don't have to put premium in it, so I guess that's good.
But everything works, right? Air conditioning works?
Air conditioning works. Power massaging seats. Oh, wait, that's a real truck.
No, they don't have it.
No, but it's air conditioning works, heating works, windshield wipers work, 4x4 system works, locking front diff, well, sort of, works. I say sort of because it has manual locking hubs. And I wish it did.
That's what you want because the electronic ones fail. So you want.
Yeah, I know you do want that. I just hated using it in the middle of the desert. But anyway, it all works fine.
So the big news is that Nathan's wearing a Northern Lightning T-shirt. A lot of you emailed us this weekend saying that the Alcan Highway is washed out. Luckily, we're not taking the Alcan Highway.
No, we're not. The way the route goes.
Don't tell them it's coming up on truck on Sunday.
Oh,
we're going to have to be surprised.
Right. Okay, there you go.
So Sunday is our first episode of the Northern Lightning. It is officially on its way to Alaska. So I'm super excited. The goal, of course, is to be the very first to drive an electric truck. I'm sure electric cars have been all the way up to Dead Horse now, but electric truck to Alaska. And that journey has started. It's logistically a nightmare.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. Well, think about it this way. There's several places where it is nearly impossible, not only to charge a vehicle, but to even find a population.
Finding a 500-mile extension cord was not easy.
Seriously. That's all you need, 500?
Yeah, from Fairbanks to Dead Horse.
It's going to be rough. But at the same time, this is something that it's kind of a proof of concept. This truck, we know, actually does very well for such a large vehicle in terms of range when it's not towing. So how will it do in the dirt sometimes, on gravel roads, going up to this remote area. It's going to be very interesting.
Hey, and before we do the walk around of these, let's talk about that video that like blew up. You and Tommy and Andre did a video where you took two identical trailers and hooked them up to a GMC V8 and the Lightning, and the Lightning barely got 100 miles of range. And everybody used that video basically to figure out that they hate electric trucks.
Yeah,
Because,
no, look at that.
because let's face it, you don't do anything in an electric truck but tow. That's the only use case scenario for an electric truck.
I know.
You tow to church, you tow to work.
You just tow.
Tow everywhere with a 6,000-pound trailer.
Okay, to be fair, absolutely, we know that, and I mentioned this in the video, trucks that are battery powered have a ways to go before they can really be tow worthy in terms of distance. However, it has proven to be very economical just in terms of charge rate versus mileage. And that's one thing that is very apparent. And it also proved itself in some other videos that we are putting up very soon.
Yeah, we gave the truck. It's over. I just published it. It's over at Truck. We gave it to David, who, as you know, loves diesels and all things
Old trucks and
V8.
stuff like that.
And so we gave it to him to drive to get his opinion on what he thought about it. But it was funny because like everybody's like, "Oh, EVs suck," and bunch of lefty agenda. And I'm like, we're not taking a political stand here.
We're testing a product.
We're testing a product, and we're letting you decide what you think. But the fact is that towing big heavy trailers across country is only one use case scenario. Granted, an important one. I understand it's an important one, but nevertheless, there are other things you can use an electric pickup for besides towing a 6,000-pound trailer across country.
If you don't have a big commute and you want to throw 1,000 pounds in the back of it, it will go, and it will go on a nice.
Well, how about tow your boat to the lake that's 30 miles away?
Yeah, but there's a variety of different things you can do with it. There's kind of a point here, which is, and I've always said this, if you have a couple different vehicles at your home and one of them happens to be electric, then you can kind of pick and choose what you need to do for various things. And honestly speaking, for the price of the base model, even with the stuff that's all stacked up on the one we have, it's a pretty cool truck. I mean, the tech is fascinating.
So I'm going to get a little political here, which I normally don't do. I know you hate that, but I will. So I asked David, right? I said, David, why do people hate electric trucks so much? And he had a good answer. He said, people hate electric trucks because they feel like the government is forcing electrification on them. Mm-hmm. And I completely understand that. But at the same time, I also understand that if the government's giving me $7,500,
well, if you're in the right tax bracket.
Yeah, if you're in the right tax bracket, I'm not opposed to that tax credit. And from a TFL point of view, we don't really take a stand on it. We show you the best and the worst of electric trucks. And coming up very soon, we're going to do our Ram 2500 versus the Lightning up the Ike. So that's
going to be fascinating.
I think we have a. Go ahead, Max.
TB12 gave us $20.
Wow.
Just wishing us good luck on the Alaska trip.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll need it.
Yeah, that's going to be at least one meal, hopefully covered when Roman is stranded in the middle of, I would say Frostbite Central, but it's not going to be cold when you're up there. That's like the only benefit of doing it this time of year.
And it doesn't get dark till like 2 in the morning because we're going to be spending a lot of time charging.
I mean, it's just sitting there.
We may find another use case scenario where electric trucks are not good.
I actually thought about, guys ever seen those bikes where, the stationary bikes where you pedal and it's got a little tiny, what is it, a generator that you can power your TV with or something like that, or a fan. I wanted to get that for Roman because I could just imagine him huffing and puffing for 60 hours just to get up like to 5% so he can get to his next location. That would be fascinating.
We have a cunning plan for that. And you will find that out this Sunday when we publish the video. There is a cunning plan on how we go from Fairbanks to Dead Horse, which is 500 miles with one truck stop in between. That's tricky.
That's going to be extremely tricky. And here's the best part. I'm not going. I'm staying here. I'm going to manage the place. It's going to be a big party. We're going to install fire pole. We're going to actually bring in a couple of different...
Is that for the firefighters to come and help put
out
fires?
That is actually in some livestock and a whole bunch of other stuff. Just letting you guys know in advance. Anyway, let's talk about these two trucks.
Yeah. So how much is that old relic over there?
It's not an old relic.
I love the color, by the way.
Isn't this fantastic?
It's a beautiful color.
This is one of the best looking trucks in its class when you get this package. If you don't get the package, I think it looks frumpy. But like this, beautiful. This one is around $36,000. But it can go up to nearly $50,000 if you get the beefy yet smaller displacement 4-cylinder turbo diesel. That one is a torque monster and it gets better mileage, but it is very expensive.
But as tested, we're at just $46,000.
Yeah, this
with
is
the 3.6 liter V6.
Yeah, this is with the 3.6 liter V6, so that's 308 horsepower. And you have something going on, Max. What's up?
Pop it open, would you?
Gave $10 and says that the Silverado ZR2 is the way to go.
Ha! I told you.
I
told you.
Should I not debate him because he actually gave us money? But no, dude, I have such a good reason why this is so much better. And it has, I mean, this is actually a pretty decent engine. You know, it's a little bit on the old side, I guess, but it puts out 275 pound-feet of torque. It's hooked up to an 8-speed automatic transmission. You can get around 19, 20 miles per gallon combined, maybe even a little bit better if you actually drive it right, which I don't. But there's something really important that I want to show you, and it has to do with my arms. Yes, here's the actual...
I've got the Monroney here.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 17 mpg combined. That's not exactly
I was
stellar.
getting a lot better than that, though, but I was also driving like a wimp.
$45,865 standard
46.
vehicle. Yeah, you know, you get things like a leather-wrapped steering wheel, ZR2 off-road appearance package, projector-style headlights, Nathan.
You know, they look like they're
Look at
projectors.
this Chevrolet lettered grille.
Yeah, actually, this grill is the newest version of their grill. It's kind of been an update, which looks a lot more like the Silverado. And we know for a fact that the replacement for this vehicle will have squintier eyes like its big brother. But here, I want to show them the reason why I have absolute respect for this and why I won't buy one of those.
Okay.
It's really simple.
What's
Ready?
that?
Oh, wait, we got another.
No last name gave us $20.
What a cool name, dog with no last name. Thank you very
you,
much.
dog.
Any questions with that?
Just the money.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
So what's your...
Watch my arms, okay? Now, I'm 6'1", so my arm span is about that. Watch. Okay. I'm pretty much able to touch the fenders here. When I go off-road, I like to fit on trails, and I like a vehicle that's relatively light by comparison that can go on those trails. Now, even though both of these have front and rear lockers, they both have a lot of armor underneath, they both are extremely capable. This thing, hell no. The only thing that's wider is like a Raptor. That's it.
Oh, Bronco Raptor.
Bronco Raptor's same size as the big
Also-
Raptor.
Yeah, it's also wider.
Yeah, ridiculously wider.
Yeah.
But the point is you can't go on trails. Now, we don't live in the desert up here in Colorado. We live in an area where there's trees and boulders and things like that, right? So I would rather have that any day, not to mention the fact that it easily fits in a garage. I think it's not bad looking.
Well, let's look at the business end of this thing. It's got the one of the options, Nathan, is the power adjusting outside mirrors and the easy lift and lower tailgate. So let's
Easy lift,
let's see if it's easy.
which
lift
isn't
lower.
that much smaller than this.
All right, let's see. Oh,
Look at that.
Look at that.
That's what your $45,000 or $46,000 is
Can
getting
you
you.
lift it with one finger?
Oh, I can lift it with one finger. Come on.
Oh, now you're showing off.
Yeah, well, come on. No, I know it
Well,
doesn't.
you lifted it like with this part of the finger. Lift it with this part.
Oh,
Easy lift. One, and keep it straight. Don't
people are
bend it.
giving us money for doing this video, and they're going to, okay.
All right, a little harder.
Okay, look over here. Now, this is a really big difference. I really wish something like this was available for the Colorado. This is the Multi-Pro tailgate. I know it's kind of a gimmick. It's not kind of. It is a gimmick.
Yeah, so you do this, and then, oh, maybe you do it the other way. I forget.
You have to kind of do the both
like
thing
that.
and then kick the other one.
And then you do this.
There you go.
And then you push this, and then you get that.
I got to tell you, I am a tailgating fan, and having this one doesn't have the speakers.
No,
by the way.
Andre did not option it with speakers.
What a cheap guy.
In fact, this one, as tested, cost us $67,000. You know that we bought it and traded the Tundra in on it, and we're about to trade it again for something new. We're not going to tell you what it is.
We're not going to tell you.
But we are going to trade it, not because we want to trade it. I actually have fallen in love with this truck.
It's a really good truck. I mean, I admit, and the engine, the power is ridiculous. It's just so smooth and so good. The 6.2 in this is, what is that, 420?
420 horsepower, 460 pound-foot of torque.
So it's a little bit more powerful than the one in Colorado, but it's also a much larger truck with a lot of extra drag. But this Multi-Pro tailgate, I've just had a reason to use something just like this with a variety of different things this past week. I'm building fences and stuff at my new house, right? And
Yeah, so obviously the cool part with this is, you know, you can close it, and then this part can stay open. So you
well,
can,
that's exactly it. I had like these 8-foot and 10-foot pieces of lumber.
yeah.
They didn't fit well in the Jeep,
Nope.
so I had to put them on the roof, which was a hell of a shot. But the point is that having something like this is pretty cool. easy tie down, put a little red rag on the end of it. I really, really like that part. And there's other things you could do with it. Yeah, I think you could bring this up according to General Motors, and then you can, I think this goes out
you could put, you could get
and stuff
so
here
it doesn't
too.
come flying out. Exactly
Yeah.
right.
I mean, I really do like that. I would prefer having speakers in there though, and I'll put in my own because that's what I would do. But
Because you're a tailgater.
I am a bit of a tailgater. I enjoy it.
So we are, like I said, trading this in, not because we want to, but because we're in the business of reviewing new trucks.
Right.
And we only get like maybe 15 to 20 videos before people get bored of it.
Well, yeah, that's part of the problem.
So Tommy and I are going to take that truck and this truck off-road tomorrow, and we're going to see which one's better. Go ahead, another question. Or,
Andrew Barley gave $5.
Thank
Thank
you.
You mentioned that Nathan's shoulders hit the left door when you were driving to Colorado.
Hit the left
I
door.
guess he was talking about the interior being crammed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I'll hop in a minute.
let's go inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
I'll hop into the ZR2.
Yes, up to the ZR2 and
The
show them
proper ZR2. Oh, I said it.
All right, here. Let me light it up for you. Here, jump in, and you can see how tight it is in here. Go.
Well, in the front seat, it's not bad. Okay, look. Here I am. Bezel.
That interior is looking pretty dated.
It is really, that's probably the worst part, and I know that's what they're fixing on the new version. And the plastics are super cheap.
But I asked David about that, and he likes cheap plastics. He says a farm truck is supposed to have cheap plastics.
Yeah. He told me that too, because he can easily wipe off chicken goo or whatever that gets on there, whatever that they're doing with farm animals. But the same goes, I had this little pet peeve that really expensive trucks, and this is pretty pricey, have this. I like having my arm hang out here when I drive, and having such kind of harsh plastic, I don't know.
It feels old school. It feels like 5-6 years ago. Yeah.
Which makes it a bit of a problem when you're comparing it to some of the new things, like the new Nissan out there. Actually, it does have hard plastic, but it's not as bad. Ford has a really good interior. But then you even look at the stuff from like Honda. The Ridgeline has a gorgeous interior by comparison in terms of comfort. But
speaking of gorgeous,
I'm still comfortable. Hey, look, my shoulder's not hitting the door.
Come on. Speaking of gorgeous interiors, hop into the
now we're gonna hop in.
The real ZR2. Really nice. I said it.
Yeah.
Come on, hop into this truck. Now this is an interior that your mom could be proud of. Here, can you get around? Be careful.
Yeah, you want me in there? Or
yeah, just jump in. Oh, look at those graphics and the screen. I'll close the door.
Yeah, but you know what else? Watch what I have to do, which I didn't have to do in the other one. And I'm pretty tall. I mean, I got short legs, but I'm pretty tall. Got to lift myself up to the seat. Unlike Roman and Andre, who have freakishly long legs, I have to actually boost myself to get into this thing.
Yeah, but this interior, you have to admit, is just really...
It's much nicer.
Yeah, they really upped the game.
This big screen here, which is one of my favorites, actually. Oops, sorry about that.
And a real volume knob, Nathan.
A real volume knob. And I almost, because this is a studio truck, I almost changed all the stations to my stations. But I didn't want that vein to pop on the side of Roman's head when he was driving. So, very similar controls, by the way, to the little baby ZR2.
The tailgate. You can't do that in the little baby ZR2.
No, you can't, but maybe you shouldn't. Man, I was just pushing a button. Anyway, this does have the brand new 10-speed automatic transmission. This truck is probably one of the smoothest driving trucks in terms of switching gears and being really mellow on the highway.
Yeah, plus it tows about twice as much as the other one.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
And I mean, the seats are pretty comfortable. Chevrolet seats are kind of like good or bad for me. You know what I mean? Like some of them I like and some of them are too hard.
I like these. I think
they're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But if you go to a regular Silverado, I think that those seats are a little hard, at least for me. And I know I'm complaining, but it's just a minor thing. Wanted to talk about something else though with the new ZR2. I'm going to hop out for that.
All right, let me pop the hood open while you're doing that. And you go to the front and we'll look under the hood.
So speaking of the Silverado, right now we are in the process of getting a new 2.7-liter 4-cylinder engine. That'll be a standard engine in the Silverado. As you can tell, this has been taken off-road. Did Tommy do this?
I did that.
This is what we do. Anyway, that 2.7-liter engine is rumored to go into the Chevy Colorado, and that engine will replace both the diesel and the V6. Now, I know some of you guys are like, oh, that's no good.
Sorry, I kept the key in the
Yeah, it's a key. You might be saying, that's no good. You can't do that. Well, yes, it is good. You know why? Because currently the setup on that 2.7 liter engine is 430 pound-feet of torque. That means that if they use that powertrain in the next gen Colorado, which is coming really, really soon, it'll be a torque monster.
Yeah, I mean, we're about to hit some really good times for mid-sized trucks, right?
Oh my God.
There's a new Ranger coming.
Yes.
There's a new Tacoma coming.
Right.
There's a new Colorado coming, to name just a few.
Oh, we're getting updates on the Gladiator too. So there's a lot of stuff coming. We're hearing rumors about plug-in hybrids and hybrids. Plus the small trucks are now here, the little babies, and there'll possibly be more of those. We're talking about something coming in from FCA, from Stellantis.
Yeah, we've been talking for that forever.
I know, but now they announced it. They announced they're doing something. And also, Toyota's been talking about possibly doing something now.
Well,
and Ford.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point you're going to be able to get that beautiful 3-liter diesel, the baby Duramax. Right now you can't get it in the ZR2 for whatever reason, but I bet you it's coming. I can't see why you can get it in a regular Silverado and not a ZR2.
Pardon me. I agree. And this is the perfect truck for that powertrain because it puts out the same amount of torque as this big V8.
And gets much better fuel economy.
It gets better fuel economy, but right now, speaking of right now, we got...
fuel economy, Andrew again gave $5 and is asking about the differences between the two engines.
Really good question. And this is where my argument completely falls apart.
About 150 horsepower.
Significantly different horsepower
and
numbers.
Same fuel economy.
And pretty much the same fuel economy. The little Colorado, unless it has the diesel, does not get very good economy. I was getting around 20, but I drive mostly highways, right? 17 is the combined on that one. This one I think is pretty close to that as well.
Look, V8's, let me close this so I don't hurt you. V8s are definitely going the way of the Dodo, I hate to say it, right? Ford has, even 5 years ago when they introduced...
They only have one V8 left.
Yeah, the Coyote.
Well, technically two.
And they are going to have a V8-powered Raptor.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But that's more of like a coda. It's not the beginning of something. It's the end of something.
Right.
The other thing that these, of course, share in common are the Dssv Multimatic shocks.
Yes, the Multimatic shocks are really cool, but some people have pointed out that they can get hung up because they hang down a little bit on obstacles. And they do. And we've actually seen that. Remember the time, if you guys look at an older TFL video, I believe it was a truck video, not an off-road video. We took one of these off-road, and it was actually one of our fans who brought it with. And we did bounce over some rocks, and they did make contact with the bottom of those spool valve shocks, which is a shame. But if you look at what they do overall in terms of performance, despite that one issue, they are fantastic for rebound. They're excellent for road ride. They're excellent for off-road ride. Really just one minor issue. And I think perhaps in the future they'll take care of that.
So I think, the one thing that these two trucks certainly share is their off-road ability.
They're both ridiculously capable.
Yeah, and I think that's simply because you can distribute 25% of the power to each of the wheels, right? You lock the center diff by putting in low range and then lock the two diffs, and you've got 25, 25, 25, 20, right? You don't have, it's trying to figure out where to send power. It's just sending power
It just sends it there. And also, great articulation for vehicles that have independent front suspensions. They have a lift that's just right. If you overlift a vehicle, you're screwing yourself in one way or another. They have really good underbody armor.
Yes.
I think that in terms of their capability, this truck, the only truck that outperforms it. Yeah.
That ain't plastic, Nathan.
Yeah.
Unlike some other vehicles we could name.
Same thing down here.
And then this is, look at this is.
Yeah, I got
unlike
one of those
some other vehicles.
I got that too. Yeah. Try it up. Sorry, I said it loud. But there's something else to consider. The only truck in this class, at least for the mid-sized trucks, that outperforms this off-road is the Jeep Gladiator with Rubicon, fully loaded.
I think, they're
that's the only truck. And even that truck has a longer breakover angle, much longer.
I was going to say, I was talking to Tommy about this, and I think in some ways that might be a better off-road truck than the Jeep because the Jeep is long.
Right. I would rather have this, I think, over the Gladiator just for that one reason. And also, this tows better. Even though the Gladiator is made to tow in comparison, this I think is a better tow vehicle.
And it's got better seats. The Gladiator's Achilles heel are those seats.
The seats are a little off.
But this thing is by far from perfect. So one of the things that I really don't like is this fake hood scoop.
Yeah, there's no reason for it, right?
You sit behind the wheel and you can't see over the hood of it because it's got this giant bump. Yes, Max.
TD Garage wants to know Power Wagon or the Silverado.
Ooh, that's a power wagon.
I have an easy answer for that.
All right, you answer that one.
Power wagon, of course.
Yeah.
Because for the same
winch?
price, I know. For the same price, basically, you can get a power wagon. I'd get a power wagon.
Now you're the one who's just like, hey, look how wide this is, and you're going to.
But he asked between this and the power wagon, though.
And you're going even wider.
But the power wagon is not wider than this. They're exactly the same width, within like a half inch of each other.
Yeah, the power wagon is getting a little long in the tooth now.
It is very long in the tooth, but it's still super mighty. And I would choose the power wagon strictly based on the fact that I am familiar with what it can do with articulation. It has a better articulation angle.
Yes, but it also has a horrible ride.
No, it doesn't.
It beats you up.
It's creamy.
It beats you up.
You just need more butt cheek. You get more butt cheek like mine, it's smooth.
If you air it down, it's good. But if you don't air it down,
it's all right.
It's a heavy-duty truck off-road. And let's face it, heavy-duty trucks off-road are a little bit like, elephants on stage.
I think it rides better than the Tremor, the 2500 Ford Tremor, just a little bit. The Tremor is really stiff. Remember our version of it? That was super stiff. I think that the Power Wagon's a little bit better. But for the same price, and considering what they can do, I think I would take the Power Wagon over this.
A couple of things I'm not in love with. They are going to a digital display, of course, which has all these subscription services.
Yeah, I know, crazy.
Yeah, and so I don't like when they try to nickel and dime you. It's like you buy the truck and you want to pay for, like Toyota tried to do this. You want to pay for remote start, stop, right? No, I just bought the truck.
This doesn't come with it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
no, but you can do it.
But GM does that with OnStar and some other things as well. So I'm not a big fan of that. I always feel like, just sell me the truck. Don't sell me the add-on services.
I think OnStar is
not a computer.
Part of it for the first 3 years or something like that. Isn't that?
I'm not sure how long it is. It depends. And same thing with Sirius. You know how that goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
But I do love the design. Like I said, I'm going to be very sad to see it go. I'm really, not keen to sell it, but like I said, our business model is taking existing vehicles and putting them into the next, and we don't have the money to just go out and buy the next vehicle.
We can't have 25 trucks in our parking lot that we own. It just wouldn't be practical, and we could not afford it.
Yeah.
But no, I admit, it's a really good truck. By the way, I really like this color. I don't think these lights show
beige, as Tommy calls it.
It does look like that a little bit, but off-road, this thing looks fantastic. It just looks
It doesn't show dirt. I just took it through, a bunch of Colorado mud, and you can't tell.
Well, because I washed it, Roman.
Did you wash it? Oh, never mind. All right, thank you.
I washed the damn thing. Come on.
But I love this red bow tie. I love the fact that it's passed through.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And the other colors that are available with it, including this metallic blue, I believe there's very similar blue that's available for this truck. But honestly, even if I had the dough to get something like this, as a person who really does enjoy to off-road, this would be my choice. That's me.
And this would be my choice.
Well, there it is.
There it is. And I loved our old Trail Boss, and this is like taking the Trail Boss to the next level.
That Trail Boss was such a good truck.
It was. Here, I just did a review. If you guys haven't seen it, go to alltfl.com, but I just took it off-road, and at the end, the conclusion I came with about this truck is, okay, it's not a Raptor.
No.
It's not a TRX.
No.
But it's the truck that has the biggest kind of tool available for most buyers. And what I mean by that is, while it doesn't, have 700 horsepower, it doesn't, do desert running, but what it does is it does everything truck-like. So if you want to tow, if you want to haul, if you want to commute, right? It does all that in an incredible good way. Plus, it gives you, on top of that, all that great off-road worthiness.
Which means that you can actually go to the trail where those vehicles broke down or were rolled by people who don't know what they're doing, and you can actually drag them out of the mud and take them back.
Yeah.
And it can go through the desert. It's just not really a desert runner. It just doesn't have that suspension.
A Raptor, 8,000 pounds, TRX 8100, this over 10,000 pounds, right, of towing capability.
Yeah, and can haul quite a bit too, especially with the right type of trim.
It's the biggest Swiss Army knife.
I would agree with you there that this is probably the best tool in terms of overall capability.
Yeah, you can have your off-road cake and you can eat it too. And that's saying a lot, because when you get into the TRX and you get into the Raptor, you're really becoming very specialized in terms of what the truck is optimized to do.
I would get the exhaust package on this if I were you.
I would too, but it's expensive.
Yeah, I know, but it just sounds really good.
Because right now, if we started this up, you couldn't even hear it.
I know, exactly. That's why it's 6.2.
All right, Max,
Max, what's up?
Andrew, give another $5.
Thank you.
Point out that the Power Wagon has a disconnected front sway bar.
Yep, that's right. Better articulation, as I said. And not only that, but that vehicle has a much larger frame underneath, which means you can pound it and beat it, which is something
You
I'm known
can't
for
get into
doing.
this thing. What are you going to do, ladder for the Power Wagon? It's
Yeah,
another 3 inches.
Okay, so here's a funny story real quick. I brought home, remember they had those obnoxious colors? We had like a bright white one with the...
Yeah, I remember
So
that.
I brought that one home because I thought I'd try to talk my wife into it, like, hey, maybe this is something
Oh, yeah,
for
I
you.
can see your wife, yeah.
So here she is, taking her one
Is she a
leg,
pole vaulter?
and she's like hooking it up to the door, and she's holding onto the door, and she's unstable. My poor son at the time, who was like 9 years old, is trying to help her get in. It was a disaster, and I just thought, this isn't going to be good. And then once we're finally in there, and she's just like, this isn't great. I turn on the engine, so right. So it's like, this is a really loud V8, and I just knew it was over.
And a thirsty one.
Extremely thirsty. Yeah, I mean,
look, this is not dumping the Power Wagon. I love the Power Wagon.
Yeah, I know.
It's an off-road
We
monster.
just had a Power Wagon run all over our off-road course at Tumbleweed, by the way, which is a great video that Tom put out.
It's up on all TFL.
It's an awesome video, and it got stuck, but I won't tell you where.
Yeah, that was Justin did that.
Yeah.
So there you have it, guys. If you want a great excursion, it's fixed, it's sorted, and it's selling on Thursday with no reserve. TFLbids.com. And then coming this Sunday, our first of the Northern Lightning AMS to Alaska. That's going to be quite the undertaking. So we're doing the easy part is obviously this part in the lower 48. So that's
and you call that easy? That's still going to be a little rough.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And then we've got a lot of interesting towing videos where we take the Lightning, which we already filmed, and compared it to the Ram 2500. So can an electric truck compare to a Cummins when towing up the Ike Gauntlet?
You might be surprised.
You might be surprised. All right, see you guys next time. Ciao.